Welcome to the Millennial Life Coaches podcast. At MLC, our mission is simple: add value to help you take on massive action towards your life goals. Here, we feature amazing coaches from all over the world, share compelling stories, and discuss proven practices to help keep your energy high and in the flow. Learn more about MLC at millenniallifecoaches.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of How to Get Ahead with Millennial Life Coaches. I am Tanya, your host, and I'm joined by the amazing Tracy Worthington today. Tracy is a woman's empowerment and mindset coach with a real focus of ladies who are around that 40 plus mindset that are really starting to redefine what the next chapter of their life is going to be and what it's going to look like. So Tracy, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's just kickstart it by literally diving into it. Women's empowerment and mindset coach. Tell me a little bit about what that looks like.
Well, as we age and children leave the nest, things start to change for us in our lives. And, we don't know who we are anymore. We sort of have lost our identity over the years of being a wife, of being a mom, of being a business owner. And I feel like I would say the majority of women get to a point in their life where they go, I don't really know who I am anymore. I don't know what my role is supposed to be anymore. I don't know what I want to do anymore. And they just feel like they're kind of, I always say it's like being out in the middle of a big giant lake and you just don't know which side you need to get to. And so that is really what I do is I step in and I start going through with them what their passions are, what are their interests, what's holding them back. Usually, mindset is what holds everybody back from moving forward. So we trying to find what are those limiting beliefs? What are the stories that you're telling yourself, and how can we tell a new story and create something new? And I have a special 6-step process that I take my clients through. It's the same 6 steps, but it's custom for each client. Okay. And it's just really to help them create the life that they really want to have. After we define what that looks like, then we take those steps to create that life. And I use that through scripting.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of scripting.
I've heard of bits and pieces of scripting. I'm assuming it's crossly linked to our stories because a lot of these women are starting by acknowledging some of the labels that we've given ourselves. The mother, the wife, the business owner, and then we're starting to take that step back and be like, okay, there's more to me than this. So we've already scripted a story, so I'm assuming it's based off that. However, I'm going to get you to elaborate.
Yeah, so scripting is really about telling a new story. And I like to take my clients from the end of their story, like what is the final vision that you see for your life? And let's script it as if you were already living and being that woman that you want to become. Yeah. So it's really becoming you.
Okay. So it's like becoming the version of ourselves that we all see in our heads that we're like, correct. I really want to be her, and yet I need to figure out how to get there.
And when you put emotion and feelings behind your writings, it really starts to feel more real, and it starts putting you in the path of all of those things that are going to align with you and move you into that direction.
It's a form of true embodiment.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so how did you get into this line of work, my dear?
Well,
I love the story because there's always like, I needed this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and give you the condensed version because I don't think we have enough time for all of that. I have been a business owner and entrepreneur for over 30 years. And during COVID, I used to have a blow dry salon where I live, and I'd had it almost 9 years. And then COVID hit, and in the state of California, we were mandated to be shut down. So we were shut down for 10 months, only allowed to reopen, a few days, and then we'd be shut down again, and then we'd be shut down for months. So during COVID, I had a lot of girlfriends that were reaching out to me and said, I like working from home. I don't want to go back to the office. I've always wanted to have my own business. Can you kind of help me and guide me? So, I was saying, oh, do this and do that and come back to me when you've done that. And, then they were reaching back out saying, oh, I got my new logo, and oh, look at my new business cards, and I've got my website. So they were building their businesses during COVID. And one of my girlfriends, kind of at the end, she said, thank you for not charging me, but you really should be charging for this. You have a lot of knowledge. And I thought, she's right. I really should be charging for this because I have 30 plus years of experience and knowledge and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of lessons and my own education. So that's when I kind of made the decision, I really enjoyed the process of it. And so I did get certified to become a life coach, and just through my own ways of how I have transformed my own life and my own journeys, and pivoting from owning my brick and mortar salon and pivoting to now doing coaching. I was sort of in the same place my clients were. It's like, who am I now? I live in a very small community, and I used to call up and say, hi, this is Tracy from Just Blow Dries, and everybody in town knew who I was. Then I didn't have that anymore, and I'm like, who am I? I don't know who I am anymore. For the last 9 years, I've been Tracy from Just Blow Dries. So that was a big pivotal moment for me, and that's sort of what inspired me to create this coaching program.
I love that. And I love that it stemmed from that identity shift within yourself, because that's truly where we hit that point at some point of our lives, whether it be in the 40 bracket or sooner. I know for me, it was early 30s where I took a step back and I was like, oh crap, who am I? Like this, I'm no longer this person. I'm not yet this person. How do I get there? Right. And coaching is definitely a beautiful way of pulling that out. So what advice would you give someone who's listening right now that's kind of like, this is totally landing, like I feel like I'm not the version of me that I want to be, and yet I have all these labels and identities that I've been given that I'm not sure if they quite fit anymore?
That is such a great question. And, I think a lot of women, if they're listening to this, will really resonate with that, because they're probably saying the same thing. You're right. My kids just went to college, and now who am I? So, for me, I like to really start my clients out with, what are they passionate about? What are their skills? What are their talents? So that we can kind of define what direction they might want to go. Not everybody wants to be a business owner, and the world needs business owners, and they need people to work in the business and help support the business. So not everybody's looking to be a business owner. So, I like to just really try and figure out what it is they're looking for, and then we start laying the steps. For me, I'm really big on journaling. And I think journaling really helps you figure stuff out. So that's what I would suggest anybody who's listening now, is to get a journal, a notebook, a pad of paper, whatever, and just kind of start journaling on who you've been. Do those labels resonate with you anymore? If you're a mom, you're always a mom. Even if your kids are gone, you're still a mom. But now your role has shifted as a mom. You're not there to discipline and to, be an everyday, take them to school, make sure their homework's done. They're at college now. You've grown them into young adults. Yeah. So maybe your role is shifting. So let's look and see, what does that new shift and that new role look like? So that's really how I like to start my clients out, is just journaling and pulling out all those labels and figuring out which ones fit and which ones don't. And let's eliminate the ones that don't. And let's really redefine the ones that are still there.
I like that. And I love that you play into passions. Like, what are you passionate about? Because that's truly where we can start creating some of these new labels, or labels, and I don't like the word labels, but identities in which
yes.
we want to step into. So as they're journaling, as they're pulling out some of these passions, what would be a step that you would invite them to take past that? Is it go after these passions? Obviously, contact yourself or a coach that can help you, guide you through this process.
Right.
However, what else can I do? So if I start writing down passions and it seems like maybe reading's one and I don't know what to do with that, what would be the next step that you would offer for somebody?
If they,
no,
so
question, sorry.
if they have defined what their passions are, then, I think definitely the next step is to, what do you need to do in order to get there? Do you need to take classes? Do you need to get certified in something? So, once you discover what you're passionate about, then it's time to figure out what steps do you need to take to get there. And again, does that mean do you take some online courses? Do you study with a coach? Do you, whatever that is, and take those next steps to start moving into action. And I'm all about I don't care what it looks like, messy, clean, just take the step forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I think as women, we really prevent ourselves from moving forward because we feel like it's not ready, it's not perfect. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Just start. We all have to start from someplace and just start. And if it's messy, it doesn't matter. You took the first step, and that's major.
And I love that advice because it is so true. We do find ourselves in that analysis paralysis because we're like,
yes.
It's not perfect. It's not pretty. It's not how I see myself doing it. And yet more often than not, isn't that when the most beautiful things come out?
That's my biggest challenge, is because I just want everything to be perfect. And I have found myself also delaying launching something or doing something because it wasn't perfect. And what I have found is that if I do it anyway, you're right, beautiful things come from that. I recently, a couple months ago, started doing a live every Monday morning, and it's called Empowered Beginnings. And I set an intention for the week, I give an affirmation, and then we give action steps that they can take throughout the week, and journal and prompts and just different things that they can do to keep moving forward. And when I started it, it wasn't ready. And I didn't know how to do all the live stream stuff. And I was having technical difficulties. But you know what? I got on and I said, listen, this isn't perfect. I'm still working out the kinks, but I'm showing up and I'm here. And the response that I got from people, they were like, oh, this was great. And who cares if you had some glitches, and if people don't care.
No.
We have told ourselves the story that people only want to see perfection, and it is absolutely not true. People want to see somebody who's just like them, who struggles with tech, who struggles with the fear of going live. So people appreciate that and they respond to that. So I just say, do it, just go.
I love that. And I love that analogy because so many people and so many women are kind of like that fear of just getting out and taking that next step. And it's so true that imperfection is what people truly want to see. And we are so often harder on ourselves, which I think ingrains that story even more.
Yes.
Do you agree?
100%.
Yeah.
And with all the social media, you can curate your social media feed to be anything you want it to be. I do not do that. I show up in whatever capacity I happen to be in. And, I like to be real. I want people to know that I understand what it feels like to lose your identity and not know what's next for you. So I'm just very open and honest with with my social media following and with my clients. I just let them know, yeah, I've been where you are. I've been bankrupt. I've lost everything and I've rebuilt it. And it's okay. You're going to be okay. I was okay. It's all good.
I love that you stem from your past experiences, because I find when it comes to coaching, there's something so powerful about knowing that the person walking you through the journey has been on the journey at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been on a few transformational journeys. So I've had to reinvent myself a couple of times.
Girl, I feel ya. I've also done the same thing. But isn't that one of the most beautiful parts of life? If we're not rewriting our story consistently, the chapters don't get better.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what is a bit of advice that you would offer, I guess, someone who's kind of listened to it up this point? We've gotten clear, we're taking steps, we're considering getting coaching. What would you suggest at this point?
I mean, for me, and I'm not saying this because I'm a coach, but I very, very much believe in investing in yourself. As women, I mean, we don't think about it, but you're investing in yourself when you get your hair cut, when you get a manicure and a pedicure, when, you buy a new outfit for work. You're investing in yourself and your future. I mean, we have to get our hair cut, and we don't have to get a manicure, but we do have to get our hair cut. And so those are investments that we are making. And coaching is the same thing. I mean, if you would invest in online courses, why wouldn't you invest in a coach who can help you get there probably faster, because it's more specialized and geared towards exactly the steps that you need to take, not just broad and in general. And I coach specifically, there's no cookie cutters. I start with wherever people are, and I take them through a process for them.
So it's a very unique one-to-one experience.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm just a big advocate of investing in yourself and investing in your future.
I completely agree. Especially when you hit that point of life where really you are looking to define the next chapter of your life. The best way to truly do that is investing in yourself. Be that with a coach. That's time, that's energy, that's money, that's commitment, that's everything that it takes to step into the next version of you.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and then my website, which is worthycoachingsolutions.com. It's SOUL, and that just sort of came about as an accident. I was putting in my email for something, and it said I had the wrong email. I'm like, I don't have the wrong email. I'm looking, I'm like, oh, Solutions. Oh, I do have the wrong. Wait a minute. Solutions. I coach from my soul. So it just sort of happened accidentally, organically.
I love when that works. The universe was talking to you.
Yes. So worthycoachingsolutions.com.
Perfect. And we'll link all that in the show notes below, so you'll be able to access that so you can get a hold of Tracy. I don't want to cut it just yet. I'm loving this conversation. What other advice would you give to women out there that are maybe in that 40 plus range that are just kind of, I don't know, wanting that change?
Wanting it, believing that you can have it, and taking the action steps. Okay. We can want it, but do we believe we can have it? That's, to me, that's where the magic kind of has to happen. We have to believe that it's possible for us. We have to believe that we can do it, that we can have it. And once you have that belief system in place, I think you can, do anything.
I completely agree. I love that, because belief is such a strong backer of what we truly create in our lives.
Yes.
I think often as women especially, we tend to forget that we create our own reality, and it all stems from our belief systems.
100%. So, that's really, I love to focus on what are your beliefs, and let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of them. Are those beliefs true? Are they yours? Did you come up with them, or did somebody else give them to you to believe. So yeah, our belief system is, to me, that's everything.
And I love that last little journal prompt question, if anyone caught that, what she just said there. Where did you get this limiting, or where did you take this belief on? Such a powerful question to be asking.
It really is, because when you, and I do this myself all the time, if I come up against something and I have some sort of a limiting belief around it, I will sit down and think, okay, where did that come from? And of course it comes usually from our family, our teachers, adults in our life. Not that they mean to give those to us. They're just trying to protect you. But that's typically where they come from. So when you take a look at where did that come from, is that something somebody else told you? Then that's not your belief. That's their belief that they put onto you. And to me, that's the first place to start, is where did you get that belief? And is it ultimately true? Is that belief ultimately true? And when you ask yourself that question, there's so many times I'll have fear around something and I'll start journaling it out. And is this ultimately the truth? And then I catch myself kind of chuckling, because I'm like, this is so ridiculous. I can't believe that I even had this moment of, feeling fear around this or whatever. And because I've been doing this for years, I can quickly just change that belief and get rid of it. And once I see it written out on paper and I see how ridiculous it looks, it's really easy for me to clear that and to move on.
And isn't that truly beautiful? Like, the most powerful part of coaching is the more you're guided in this direction, the more you can start doing it. You can start doing what Tracy just said, and you can recognize it quicker and quicker. And that's just a powerful place to be in. That's truly when you step into that empowered version of yourself.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
So we do need to start getting wrapped up. Any last bits of advice, wisdom, guidance, anything you want to give to our audience?
I think always my big advice is just take inspired action. Do something, one little thing that is going to move you in the direction of where you want to go, and then celebrate. We don't celebrate our wins enough. When our girlfriends, have a win, we celebrate them, we congratulate them. When we have wins, we just brush it aside like, oh, well, whatever. So it's important to take inspired action, and it's important to celebrate the wins. Even if it's a little tiny win, celebrate that, because it just makes you feel like you're progressing.
Oh, this has been such a wonderful talk. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tracy. Our listeners, again, Worthy Coach Solutions. We will drop it below. Definitely check Tracy out. We'll have all of her social media on there as well. And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of How to Get Ahead with Millennial Life Coaches. We will see you on the next episode.